guys, welcome back to my channel. Shut Up and Read. Today I'll be doing a 24-hour readathon vlog. I have never done one of these before, but I think it'd be a really good experience for me to kind of just document my reading progress for a day. I feel like I want to do more of this in 2019 just because I'm going to talk more about this in my reading challenges, but I think I want to get more into 24-hour reading vlogs, or like readathon, 24-hour readathon vlogs, whatever they're called. But anyways, the reason why I want to do this today is because it's a long weekend and I had some time. I will actually be in my apartment basically for the next 24 hours or so. Might come and go to make or run errands, make food, etc. But for the most part, I will be at home. So I figured why not take this time to really just read a bunch of books and see how that goes. And also for the purpose of this readathon, pseudo readathon vlog, I kind of want to see how many books or how many pages I can actually read during this time. So I'll actually be counting the pages that I read, which I never really do, but I'm just curious to see how many pages I can read in 24 hours. I'm not going to read actually for the entire 24 hours. I'm still going to do other things. So I'm going to just take it chill, but I do want to see, I'm going to try to prioritize reading as my number one for the next 24 hours, and the rest I will still do my other things as normal. So before I get into it, I want to talk about like 5 minutes for something, because oh my god, I just finished reading this lovely book. Oh my god, you guys, this book is amazing. I actually stayed up late into the night last night, a little after midnight, which is really rare for me. I rarely stay up to read books these days because I prioritize sleep over everything. But this book, I only had like a little over 50 pages left, and I was like, I need to know what happens. And this book is everything, guys. I have officially become a fan of Laini Taylor, and I cannot wait to see her other books. I'm going to try to pick up her trilogy, like the Daughter of Smoke and Bones trilogy. I think it's Smoke and Bones. Yeah, I have it over there actually. So I actually purchased the first book. I actually purchased the entire trilogy this weekend for Black Friday, because I realized, anyone else realize that there's this one paragraph in here that she kind of alludes to or refers to that trilogy, because she mentions goddesses and chimeras, and from what I remember, that trilogy talks about chimeras and goddesses. So I'm assuming, obviously I haven't read that trilogy, so I can't really say 100%, but I'm assuming she somehow alludes to the fact of that world, so they probably all fall within the same universe kind of thing, which I'm very excited for if that's the case, because I love this book. Oh my god, this book is everything. This book is so beautifully written, the plot, the characters, oh my god. I'll talk more about this and the first book, Stranger Dreamer, in my books I read / wrap-up video for the month of November, so be on the lookout for that for a more thorough, I don't know, recap thoughts on this series. But anyways, in terms of the books I want to pick up for this month, let me show you guys to the side. Hold on a second. Okay, so I have these few books I want to pick up. I haven't decided which one I want to read, to be honest. I was going to pick up this one, but the thing is, this book is also a fantasy, and I'm a little worried that I just finished this amazing fantasy novel. I feel like I might end up comparing two fantasy novels if I read two fantasy, like big fantasy books in a row. This book also has its own little fandom going on, so I kind of don't want to read this one right away, but I do want to pick this one up sooner rather than later, because this is technically for my book club. And yeah, then I was thinking about picking up this book because I've been trying to read WILDCARD for the longest time, so I can finally finish this entire series. So I'm kind of leaning towards this one. I'm just a little worried because I think sci-fi and fantasy are very, like, they're closely interwoven. The lines between the two genres are very blurred at times, but I think this is definitely more on the sci-fi side, whereas Stranger Dreamer and Muse of Nightmares is more on the fantasy side. So I think I might be okay with this one, but at the same time, they're a little bit similar with the whole like sci-fi dystopian fantasy kind of elements to it. But yeah, I think I might be picking up this one. If not this one, then I have these 3 books from Book of the Month that I've been dying to read for a while now. I've been trying to, so technically I'm doing this Book of the Month like November readathon thing with some other people, and the goal of that readathon is to read 2 of them. I have not read any of them yet. This one is a mythology, which I really like, but again, it's very similar to like fantasy. It's like fantasy mythology, so I think I might have to hold off on this one, even though I was very much like, oh my god. This one is a historical fiction. I have to look into it to see which one what's it about again, to be honest, because I kind of remember but I don't really remember. And this last one over here is a mystery thriller novel, which I've also heard really good things from. So I'm going to actually figure out what I'm going to read. I'm going to kind of read some of the synopsis again just to see what every book is about, and then I will decide after I finish editing my video right here, which is taking forever. So yeah, I will update you guys next time when I actually decide which book to read. I'm kind of leaning towards this one actually. Maybe a mystery thriller will be a pretty good read, but I also don't want to pick a book that's like mega long, which I feel like these are all pretty long. So I want to pick a shortish book, in which case maybe I'll pick up this one. I don't know, I haven't decided yet, but these are the 5 books that I'm playing around with right now in terms of what I want to read for this readathon. Also, right now it is about 2 p.m. on Saturday, so I will be finishing this 24-hour Sunday tomorrow around 2 p.m. as well. Hey guys, so I have decided I'm gonna pick up this book, Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell. This is a mystery thriller. I think this would be the most interesting pick for me right now, and not at all similar to fantasy. It is about a girl called Ellie who disappeared when she was only 15, and I think, how many years has she been gone now? It's been 10 years since she disappeared, and her mother has just been trying to put her life back together. One day she meets this guy, and she meets the guy's daughter, and who looks exactly like her missing daughter. So now all these questions arises, and I don't know, this seems like a really interesting pick, and a lot of people have really enjoyed it, so I'm pretty excited for it. So right now I'm camped out on my couch here, and I got my beer because today is a beer day. This is like my favorite beer, to be honest, Hogarden. I got my candle. I'm just gonna chill here, and I might take a break a little bit later after I read a bit, but yeah. So giving you a quick update, I just finished part 1 of this book, which is not that far. It's only, I'm just finished page 44, so on page like 46 or something like that. And honestly, this book is already very different than what I anticipated. I thought this book was going to be like, was going to talk more about Ellie's disappearance and, you know, where she is now, etc., or like what happened to her. But right now it's okay. Yes, it does talk about that. It talks about like, you know, her then, like her, it goes back, like there's also flashbacks, talks about like her past, like what happened that day when she disappeared, and then it talks about the future, the present day, when her mom and her husband went to find out like this last sudden like missing evidence about her disappearance. And I'm honestly, I don't want to say it because I don't want to give anything away, because it is a mystery thriller, and any clue that you can find in this book, in these type of books, you do not want to give away because it might spoil it. So I'm not going to say anything more, but as of right now, I am very much confused, I guess, and a little bit surprised, but I'm not at all shocked as to who it is, because it basically already tells you about the bat, at least the first part 1, first 44 pages, who took or what happened or where did she go, etc. for Ellie. And kind of guessed it already, and I think I'm right because that's the impression that I got so far. But yeah, we'll see. I'm gonna read a little bit more, and I might end up cooking some food after work. It's already like 3 o'clock, and I'm getting a little bit hungry since I've only had 1 meal today, but that was like 3 hours ago, so it wasn't even that long ago, but it was not a very big meal. So we might end up taking a small break afterward, after reading a little bit more of this book. And yeah, so I'm taking a break now. It is currently just a little over 3:30, so I've only been reading for like an hour, but I'm already on page 105 of this book. And can I just say that
there's something definitely wrong with Floyd. I'm sensing it with his relationship with his daughter Poppy. I'm sensing it with the way how he interacts with Laurel, the mom of Ellie. There's something about him, but he knows something for sure about Ellie and what happened to her, other than the fact that she disappeared because he Googled her, which I guess makes sense. People Google people all the time these days. But I definitely suspect something going on with him. I don't know what exactly, but there's something for sure going on with him.
also, Poppy is like the most precocious little girl I've ever met in my entire life. The way how she talks does not sound like a 9-year-old at all. She goes like, oh, would you like to take a shower? Would you like some coffee? Would you like a tea? And then she's like, I would love that. And I'm like, I have never met a 9-year-old who talks like that. But then again, I don't really hang out with kids, so maybe I'm wrong, but she does not seem like a 9-year-old, like a typical 9-year-old at all. And like her relationship for Floyd, her father, just seems, I don't know, something is off there, and I am very curious to see how this play out. So right now I'm very invested in the story. I'm already like a third in. So doing pretty good, but I'm taking a break now because I want to make some mashed potatoes. So I'm gonna go do that, boil them, and then I'm probably gonna watch a show for an hour, and then I'll probably get back into this book. Currently eating some, I have some leftovers. So I made the mashed potatoes, and then I had leftovers. Well, actually I made the green beans yesterday because I ran out, and that's leftover turkey. So I'm eating some of that, watching my show, The 100, which by the way is such a good show, so definitely recommend that if you haven't watched it already. I will update you guys as once I'm done eating and when I start reading, or if I start reading again. I mean, I will, because I'm actually at a really good part in this book right now and can't wait to finish it. And I think I'll finish it pretty soon actually, because it's actually a really quick read. I only read for like an hour and I'm already 100 pages in, and there's only like 300 pages, so should be pretty fast. Just finished an episode of The 100, so I'm going back to reading this book. Try to pick up another, or I'll try to read another 100 pages or so. We'll see how that goes, and then after that I might take another break. I don't know, but yeah, I'm going to pick up this book for a little bit more. So quick update, I'm already on part 3. I just finished part 2 of this book. Also, I'm listening to music right now, I don't know if you can tell, but I listen to Imagine Dragons. So you hear some music in the back, but anyways, I'm officially at this part where I can kind of already guess what happened to Ellie all those years ago. I'm not going to go into it because I don't want to spoil anything, but if it is what I think it is, then I was actually able to guess it about 50 pages ago. So I'm currently on page 166, so just a little bit after page 100. I think things were starting to fall into place, and I was starting to get an inkling of what had happened to her all those years ago. And yeah, I mean, so far it is really intense. The writing style is actually really easy to read, and it's a very fast book. I think all the chapters are also really short too, maybe like 5 or 6 pages long, so it goes by so quickly. And it's actually a great read right now because this is perfect since I'm so out of fantasy right now and I want to get into something very different. But anyways, that's really it for this book. I'm not going to go into detail anymore from this moment on in terms of the content because I don't want to spoil anything, but it is a really interesting book right now and definitely can't wait to finish it. So just checking in really quickly right now, I'm currently about page 200 right now, and I am very enjoying this book. This book is going by so quickly for me. I am very much engrossed in this book right now. So part 3, actually you get this new perspective of someone that I've been wanting to understand this person a little bit more, and I'm glad that the author decided that she's actually worth talking about and learning about this person's history, etc. And this new insight is actually really riveting, so I'm pretty excited for it. And yeah, I'm going to check in again when I read some more. Just checking in really quickly right now, I am currently on about page 250, and I'm taking a break because I'm actually almost done with this book. I would say I have about, I don't know, 50 to 75 pages left. So I'm going to put a pause on this because otherwise I'm going to finish it so quickly. It's not even 6:30 yet. And I started at this at 2, but I didn't really read until like 2:30, and then I took an hour break. So if I continue reading like this, I'll be done by like 7 o'clock. So I want to take a break right now, and I'll probably watch another episode of The 100 because I'm really interested in that show, and I might do some editing as well. We shall see. So my roommate just came back and we are heading out to get pizza, except that she's getting pizza. I already ate, so I'm just going with her because she needs company. Quickly checking in, we're now about to watch a movie and we're picking out, or we're going to decide which movie we're going to watch, but I will check in afterwards. Good morning everybody. So it is Sunday, well obviously, and honestly I woke up pretty late because I stayed up pretty late last night, and I didn't read as much of this as I wanted to read. I think I read like a few pages and I was like, I'm so tired. So right now I'm currently on page 300, like just over 302. So I think I'll finish this really soon, but I also need to work on my video that's coming out in like 2 hours. Basically it's already past 12 or something like that, and so I have to do work on that. But once I finish that, I'm going to focus on reading this until I'm done, and then I'm going to find out which book that I'll pick up next, because I'll definitely be done with this before 2 o'clock, though I think I'm going to end up extending my 24 hours to like 5 o'clock or something, because 3 hours last night was just spent talking to my roommates. I was talking to my sister, etc., and I did not read at all because of that. So I'm gonna work on that, and I'll update you guys when I finish reading this book. Oh my god, you guys, I just finished reading the book, and the last page is so emotional. Oh my god. It's so good. Like, this book, oh my god, that last section, that was like all the feels right there. Like, I was actually crying when I read that. Oh my god. But anyways, this book is so good, guys. I just finished it and I really liked it. I mean, like I said at the beginning, I kind of pretty much guessed what happened to Ellie, but there was one tiny element in it that I did not expect. So when that happened, when I found out about that, I was like, oh my god. And honestly, there are just so many victims in here that were very innocent, but they felt guilty about what happened. And oh my god, like, this book is really good. I would say, like, in terms of the character development, is not the most amazing, because it's not like Laurel, for the most part, I didn't really like her, to be honest, because she was still grieving about her daughter, and because of that, she's basically neglected the rest of her family, and you can tell from her relationship with the rest of her family is very strained. And so because of that, I wasn't the biggest fan of her, but I am so glad to see that throughout the book she has changed and she grew from the beginning to the end, for sure. So I really enjoyed that. The plot itself was, even though in the beginning it was, for the most part, it is very obvious in terms of what happened, but it's like the development of what happened, the revealment of what actually occurred to Ellie all those years ago, and the subtleties and the emotion behind it. Oh my god, like, this book is fantastic. For a thriller / mystery novel, I will rate this like a 4 stars for sure, which is pretty rare for me because I don't usually rate mystery novels that high, but this one was definitely a great novel. I might even give this a 5 stars because of that last page, because it was just so emotional. Oh my god. So anyways, that is it in terms of this book. What time is it right now? It's just before 2, so I'm going to extend this readathon because I've only read, how many pages have I read here? 356 pages, so not too many pages, and because of last night I didn't really read that much. I'm thinking I'll pick up this book now and see how this goes. I'll probably update you guys when I get home later, because I'm actually leaving in an hour or so to this appointment, and then I have dinner planned. So I will update you guys when I get home in terms of how far I read with this book and what I've thought about this book so far. But this book is book 2. This is WILDCARD by Mary Lou. It's book 2 and the final of the Warcross duology, and I thoroughly enjoyed the first book. The second book though, this one, I was very excited for it. This was like one of my most anticipated novels of 2018, but a lot of people after they read it said they didn't like it as much, so my expectations for it has gone down a little bit. But I think I'm still really highly anticipating and seeing how this series will end and conclude. But anyways, I'll just update you guys when I get home after my appointment and my dinner plans. And yeah. Hey guys, sorry, completely forgot to actually end this vlog. So it's actually 2 days later, it's on Tuesday, and I have actually already finished reading this book, WILDCARD by Mary Lou. I think on Sunday, when I actually finished the whole 24-hour, after I extended the 3 hours, I was only a little bit over 100 pages. So total number of pages read after then she was gone, I think that was like 350 something pages, another 100 here, so about 450 or so, give or take a few pages. So in terms of this book, I do agree that a lot of people did say that didn't really have much action going on. I think a lot of this book, specifically maybe the 2/3 of it, possibly more, was all about setting up how it ultimately come to be. And Emeka, who in first book was very much on top of everything, in this book she did seem kind of a bystander. I mean, she was there, involved in everything, but her role was definitely more subdued versus in the first book. So I definitely see where everyone's coming from in that regard, because I definitely do agree. I think her role, for some reason, it seems like she was just learning a lot of information, and you do see a lot of information dump in terms of Hideo and Zero, like Sasuke, their like history and background and like where did he go, etc. So I can definitely see why this book, there's so much information, and why Emeka played more of a background role as opposed to being like the main front and center character. However though, I still really enjoyed it. I did like the interaction she had with the other Phoenix Riders players. I liked her interaction with Hideo. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right, but I still really enjoyed it overall. So even though I think I gave the first book, I think like 5 stars, I might have to give this one a 3 or something, because it was good, it just wasn't as amazing as I would have expected. And like I said, I definitely agree that Emika's character wasn't as, you know, front and center as I would have liked her to be. So that's that. But in terms of the plot though, I did find it very interesting. I found it most interesting to see where Zero / Sasuke was like all those years ago and where he came from and like his history. Like that part for me was the most interesting element of this book. So honestly, because of that, I gave this book a 3 stars as opposed to everything else in this book. So that's basically just a quick, you know, recap and my initial thoughts on this book. But anyways, that's all I have to say for this 24-hour readathon / reading vlog. Don't even know what to call it. I actually really like this. I think it's actually a lot simpler to do than to do a week-long or like, you know, whatever reading vlog / readathons I do. So I might do more of these in the future, because honestly, setting aside or trying to pick up the camera for 24 hours or just a weekend is really not that difficult. It's definitely significantly easier than doing a whole week. So I think I'll continue doing this. I haven't decided how much I'm going to do this, but I think in the New Year's I'm going to implement a lot more of these 24 hours / weekend reading vlogs instead, because that's just kind of fun to do. It's good to kind of read along with you guys, or at least share my initial thoughts with each book that I'm reading as I'm reading them. So definitely be on the lookout for that. I'm definitely interested in doing that more in the future. But anyways, that's all to say for this video. If you have read any of the 2 books that I read during this 24-hour, or I guess technically not, because I finished this book on Monday. Was it Monday? Yeah, I finished this book on Monday. So if you have read any of the 2 books that I read in the past few days, let me know in the comments below. Let me know what your thoughts about them. If you want to pick them up, if you haven't read them, let me know on the comments down below. But as always, if you like this video, please do give me a thumbs up. Subscribe down below. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. That's it for today, guys. Thank you. Bye.